Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Tampo. Barring any more pressing matters, we have our cast. Hello, cast.
Hi, Paladin.
You all look so nervous.
Nervous?
Uh,
No.
I'm Paladin, your DM of the evening. Let's go on and say hi. Let's start with Joshua. Who are you? What do you do?
Hello. Apparently, my name is Joshua now. What's up? My name is Josh. Bunch of things, and today I am playing Dai, your gold gnome Babylon. Clairvoyance is the call of clairvoyance. That's the one. I had to think about that for a second. That's me. Let's toss it to Lucia.
Hi, I'm Lucia. I am very sorry about last session. I had to leave a little early because I had to evacuate my apartment building. But I'm glad to be back. I'm playing your half-elf barbarian Gaita. And I'm excited to be here. I will pass it to CB.
Hi, my name is Omega Jones, also known as the Critical Bard across all social media channels. And today I am playing Manala, the Umalagad Dragonborn, who is a grave robber rogue, whatever that may mean. And I'll pass it over to Latia.
Hi, it me, Latia. I'm playing Pilar, your Balete Elf Mangangaya Ranger, who has several boats, a carabao, a great group of friends, and some weird dreams. So, whatever that means.
And before we head back into some weird dreams, I believe we do have some sponsors.
Yeah. Hold up. I don't have a green screen, so I can't do my usual shtick, but we'll do the rest of it. What's up, beautiful people? It's me, DJ Butter, back from my 3-week HR mandated leave of absence. We return today with Radio Tampo, the only Twitch.tv smooth jazz radio show this side of the Mississippi. Over the last 3 weeks, I've learned quite a few things. Primarily that while I am smooth, buttery, and delicious, I do not have the temperament for sourdough starters. Anyways, during my free time, I decided to start practicing stand-up routines. I've always been a pretty funny guy, and so I figured it's the next logical career choice, especially if I keep getting HR calls. So here's some jokes that I've been workshopping. And the other day, I walked down to the local retention pond. While I was there, I struck up a conversation with this fish. And I said to the fish, "Hey, this is a retention pond. You should try to get out." And the fish was like, "I can't. There's no exit. It's just that cement wall over there." And I was like, "Damn." Anyways, follow the link in chat and get a nice 10% discount on purchases in the Hit Point Press store. You can find incredible 5e supplements, stat blocks, spell cards, and so much more when you go to hitpointpress.com. So, the fish and I, we've become pretty close. Every day or so, I walk back over to the retention pond, and honestly, I think we have something special. Yesterday, I asked the fish to be my gill friend, and the fish said yes. So you could say things are getting pretty serious. And I understand you might think that something's kind of fishy with these jokes, but you know what isn't fishy? It's the excellent products that you can find at the Hit Point Press store. Seriously, go check them out, and you can walk away with your very own copy of The Islands of Sina Una, for instance, and explore this incredible world on your own. I promise you won't regret it. You might regret ordering the tuna sushi for dinner, but it's easy to sing the tune of these great deals and quality products. So Speaking of tunes, let's fire up another little bit of smooth jazz. Until next time, stay slippery. Be sure to fry up something tasty while you can. DJ Butter, out.
Thank you, DJ Butter.
I'm very angry.
I caught that way
Too late.
We could tell by the way you just walked away.
I'm very angry.
Don't you have something to add at this point, CB? This is normally where you.
Yeah,
take
I do have things to add. You know what isn't buttery and smooth, but is it is it is very it is able to track things, but not fish, but your spell slots. Because Arcane Spectacles has spell slot trackers and things of that nature, so you don't forget what spells you don't have anymore. They also have dice vaults, you know, the same vault that a certain DJ Butter can sit in and starve if he wishes to. But they also can host, you know, things like your dice, or I don't think minis can go in there, but hey, you know what? The world is full of things telling you no. Sometimes just tell it yes in return. So yeah, check out Arcane Spectacles for all the things that they have. That's shop.arcanespectacles.com. I also want to shout out my friends over at Idle Champions for being a friend of this show. There will be a code at some point in this game, but you guys just stick around. It's going to be on the front page of this channel, and it's also on the screen, and it's also going to be in chat. So that means you don't just have to look; you have to be active and see the chat continuously move. So yeah, guys, watch out for that. Also, we want to give a big old shout out to our friends at RockPunch ATL for producing this show. Shout out to Big B's hand in the background as our tech producer. What's RockPunch ATL? I don't know. And if you're scissors, you don't know either because you got left out. But rocks and punching in Georgia, they put together really cool things. Like D4, which is our sister D&D show over on Sundays, co-DM'd by Dustin and Devin. There's also things like, is Quantum the Macabre still happening? If not, you can go check it out on their YouTube page because they're also on YouTube. Have you ever wanted to join a Discord community that is filled with love, happiness, and all things Harold Hobbleton, which I don't think anyone wants to experience? You can go to that Discord and check that out too. RockPunch ATL. They're your friends when DJ Butter won't be.
Breedley just left paper out entirely.
Yeah, who's paper? I don't know her. Must be
Just
a
the
local.
soft diss on Ethan. Oh no. What did Ethan do?
Exist.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, okay. With that all out of the way, it's time to start up episode 6 of Tampo, Soothe. Last week on Tampo, our adventuring party had gotten a Karakoa and had outfitted it for their purpose. They got some reinforcements, they got some better accommodations for sleeping, better cooking arrangement, a little bit of more storage. hooked up 2 boats to it to assist it with actually moving around because Caracoas by themselves are a little unbalanced without support structures. And they sailed off. On the first night, however, they were visited upon by dreams where where a Kumakatok appeared and spoke to them. Going back to that night, Gaita, you hear
Am I familiar with that?
all you know is that it sounds like someone's knocking somewhere.
Okay. I'll just kind of like peek up, look for whatever it is. Because we're all sharing the room, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then I guess I'll look around.
You sit up and look around. You are in about 5-inch deep running water. The land to the left and right is indecipherable and seemingly so far away. But this water that you stand in spans about 20 feet wide, maybe. And going past you are different coffins.
Okay.
Up above in the sky, you don't see stars. You don't see any light whatsoever. And as far as you know, the river goes on for a long, long while.
Okay. Can I look over at the coffins and ascertain, are they full?
You know them to be full.
Okay. I'll look around. Hello?
You start looking around and you see 3 figures standing on the banks of the river looking at you. All 3 wear robes, but one of them carries a lantern.
Do they look familiar to me?
They do look familiar to you. You know them as Kumakatok. They're spirits that come in 3s. They tell of possible futures.
Have you followed me out here?
We needed to talk, Gaita.
Then speak.
Someone's going to upset her in the bay.
Her in the bay.
Her of blood and anger and lust.
And I am going to be there.
You will be near.
All right.
So will... They look at each other and then back to you. Ontog.
Yes.
It will call her, antagonize her, demand for her, promise her love, and set her upon the bay.
Well, we won't let that happen.
Will you? Won't you? Can you?
These are all riddles.
We speak plainly. Someone will upset the Maiden of Blood.
Yes, as you have said. Why am I here?
We needed to talk.
Right, but could you have not just, I don't know, come for dinner or?
No.
Sorry?
No.
Oh, okay.
We don't eat like you. We don't breathe like you. We called you here where you were made to speak plainly.
I suppose if you would like to go through all the effort of summoning me here, then that's on you, I suppose. But nonetheless, you can just approach me in our boat. Am I still on the boat?
They look at each other and look at you, and they don't respond to that question.
Speaking plainly, I see.
One of them, the one with the lantern, raised it up towards you. Things are easier, things are harder. It is easy to call you here. It is harder to influence you, to convince you. There are some severities that are hard to portray. You look for your husband. This is a hard severity. Someone dies. Easy severity. The Maiden is a hard severity. Happening, but hard to convince. What she does, what she will do, easy severity. She will try and claim the volcano. She will try and claim the lovers. And if she does, people die. Easy severity.
And this has to do with Untog that we're going after as well?
Yes,
He's a real troublemaker.
people will flee. People will seek desperate means of escape. Ontog will provide and take them.
Well, we are going after him. And I assume that we will have the opportunity to stop this chain of severities from happening. And will I, won't I, can I? If the answer you're looking for is yes, then yes.
We don't care about the Maiden or the lovers or the easy severities. We care about Ontog and their unnaturalness.
I am with you on that.
You are with what you don't understand. Hard severity. Easy to share, harder to make understanding. You need to kill him.
I do.
You need to kill him. Send him down the Black River. Send him to us.
Would that satisfy you?
Not about satisfaction. Easy severity. It's about a hollowness. Hard severity.
I ask. Perhaps this hollowness you speak of, I seek to rid myself of it as well. I would like my home back.
Hard severity. You wake up. Gaita, you wake up to about a little bit of an early morning. The sun is shining overhead. You can smell fish and rice cooking. And you're pretty sure you hear one of the rowers humming to himself. Not well, but humming to himself.
I will get up and I will process while is anybody from the party awake, or is it just the crew?
You can see that people are up and at 'em. You can tell that some of your group is gathered outside on the outer deck of the ship.
We've got a lot ahead of us. And I'll say that as I join.
As you step out, you hear Pilar ask Manalo,
why mask wear on face for?
yes, perfect sentence structure, great anatomy. Yes, this makes sense.
No, I don't remember exactly what I said, but the gist of it was because after the scales around his mask are starting to turn gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now he can see farther out. Sense. You can sense farther out.
Farther. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. You can sense farther out, and yeah, I think the question on her mind now that we are, we've kind of stopped moving, even though we're moving still. The question that she had was, why do you wear that mask on your face?
He would pause for a while.
And then when she doesn't immediately get an answer, she's like, if that's a sensitive question, I am sorry.
I know what it means to be an Umalagat Dragonborn. I know why they come into existence. I understand their purpose. But their purpose also hints at a truth. And the truth is that they once lived a life, and now they are living a new one. I don't remember the life before. I don't remember simplicities or the actions that I took, the feelings that I had, the moments I shared. I do not remember anything but the feeling of warmth on my face as I crawled out. Well, as I woke up upon, and you see like his form shifts towards the boat that's tied up. And as long as I have been in this form, at least as long as I can remember, I have had this affixed to me. I have tried to remove it, but it does not come off. I was told that it was golden, which only means one thing. But I do not know why it is in my possession, nor do I know why it has made a friend in me. These are things I seek to understand.
Okay.
Was there a particular reason you wanted to know?
Just curiosity. And the scales on your face have turned gold like it around where it is on your face.
Perhaps the gold is a coating and it is now coming off, much like a powder or a pigment. I don't know what that would mean.
Paladin, it doesn't look like it's flaking off. Does it look like it's spreading?
A little bit. It looked like it's spreading just a little bit.
Okay. So like in essence, like the mask is still fully gold, but now the scales that it is attached to are also gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could you roll me a perception check?
Sure heckin' can. That is 13.
13? Yeah. It looks like the scales underneath it and just a little bit out of it have turned gold.
Okay. Can I also tell with that perception check, or would an investigation check be better, how well crafted this mask is?
That would require some form of not just general inspection, but like technical know-how about how these things are made.
Okay. I mean,
do you have a jeweler's kit?
I do not have a jeweler's kit. I've got a hunter's kit. I don't think that would help.
Hey, guess what? You would have known during the downtime that a certain Umalaga Dragonborn has a kit.
Well, yeah, I would have known that. I can't use it though. I could try to use it.
That is true, but I would say there is one on his person.
No, I don't want to try and use your jeweler's kit and like poke you in the face. Right?
What's this? A hammer? Thunk. It broke.
Thunk,
oh no!
Tunk, tunk, tunk. No. So yeah, she'll like, you can sense her kind of like moving into your personal space a little bit more, like not like super invasive, but she's just really looking at the scales around the mask, and she'll say, no, there's no gold flaking off the mask. It's just the scales that it appears to be attached to, for lack of a better word, are also gold.
Then that means there is something arcane. Something, perhaps a spirit, is latching on. I don't know these things. I am not fully adept in the arcane arts. I only have what I have based on what I knew waking up, and that was technically nothing. So what I produce is nothing. That is an interesting way to think about that.
Maybe.
Either way, if you believe that there is something I should note about the mask upon my face, I always just assumed it was cosmetic or potentially. I actually do not have the answer for why it would be affixed to my face. I did not think, however, that it would be a lead in what happened to me.
Well, maybe we can ask the eye to.
My body was
identify
literally shifting towards the eye.
it. So we
I
both
swear to God.
we both just turned to the eye.
Yeah.
From like 5 feet away, Dad goes, yes.
At this point, Gaita is alongside with you all, for the record.
Morning, Gaita.
Have I heard the whole conversation?
Not all of it, but starting from when Pilar asked the question about the mask.
Should I look at that?
Do you have that capability?
I can determine magical properties if there are any.
If it would not harm you, I would be very interested to know.
It hasn't hurt me in the past.
But you have not tried to identify something upon my face that is corrupted in some way, shape, or form.
You're correct. I have not tried that, but there's a first time for everything.
If you would not mind, I would very much appreciate that.
Sure. Would you perhaps sit? I just... You see his, 3-foot frame, just kind of...
Almost like
up at you.
literally like, the first thing that came to mind was like Donkey Kong, but just boom, down.
Very good. Give me a moment, and I'll just ritually cast. I guess I'll start with identify.
Okay. That's a 10-minute cast, yeah?
Yep, it'll take a few minutes as I cast this, and I imagine the casting much more like this strange like conversation with my bird flying around more than anything else. It's just like this like series of like weird glances and like interactions, as opposed to just like sitting there and like meditating or anything. Like
yeah, takes a minute to cast, and during this cast time, you all see as Dahan, with all like the friendly uncle vibe, kind of step out holding a pan full of food, coming out from the inside the boat, smiling, humming to himself, looks out, looks at all of you, sees what's going on with Da'aya and Manalo, and just retreats back into the boat.
How old are these people that I have hired?
So Dahan looks about middle-aged, actually.
Okay.
Like mid to late 30s.
Mm-hmm.
He is very comfortable on the boat. You haven't once seen him in the past day or so have any kind of misstep or trouble with the shifting waves.
Mm-hmm.
Namayan seemed a little newer, but she is a little intense. Every conversation with her has like it's been cordial, it's been polite, but in terms of intensity, it's always as if she's constantly at like a 6 or 7. Amurao is about in between, where Dahan is like kind of overtly friendly, and Namayan seems a little like what's the term I want to use? A little intense. Amara just kind of seems, it's a job. She's here.
Okay.
So, after a couple of minutes of Dai and Hari kind of going back and forth, like, okay, and look at that spot. Come on. What do you make of this? Back and forth eventually.
What?
So, what were you going to say?
As the eye is ritual casting, instinctively a yawn will escape. My big old mouth. It's like, yeah, oh god. Acting.
Fascinating.
Method acting. I like to imagine that Umagad, when they yawn, it's the same sound as when you hear an alligator hiss.
I don't know what that sounds like, and I kind of don't want to find out.
It sounds a little bit like steam escaping something, and then an actual growl. It's shocking to listen to.
Okay. But he just instinctively starts to just kind of roll his neck and things. I am not used to being on the water, other than when I woke up and when I traveled to where we just were. My apologies. Hopefully, I am as useful as I typically am, but I believe the waves in the water disrupted my sleep.
I'll just kind of pat his shoulder and be like, I'm sure you'll be just fine.
In the time between our conversation and now, is he still clammy? Or sweaty, rather?
Not as much, no. Like, it's still there. He hasn't, wiped it all down, but it's not like he's producing more. Dai, you cast Identify. You start looking at different properties about the mask. And as you're trying to get information fed to you, you feel it being pulled backwards. Like you were just learning about it, and someone is removing it actively. It feels like when someone closes off a room, or when someone builds up a wall, it feels like there's a sudden lack of airflow. And you hear in Manalo's voice, albeit just a lot less gruff, "Don't look at me."
I'm gonna look at Hari, do you see that?
Hari, as much as a bird can convey, is just Hari is very confused right now.
Okay, same. Good, very good. Apologies, Manalo. As I was kind of nearing the end of my ritual, it was almost like I heard your voice, albeit slightly different, saying, "Don't look at me." I'm curious. You don't recall anything about putting the mask on yourself, do you?
Oh, I remember waking up, or my eyes had opening at least. The sun was shining, but I could not see. I knew that there was sunlight, but something was blocking, and I could not perceive, at least not that way anymore. But I knew that something was upon my face. I just did not know what. Not until I reached Pahinga.
Sure. That's all right then. Well, it seems like, at least magically, I'm not going to get much. I mean, I could try again.
Did your magic fail? I do not understand how it truly works.
It's not that it failed. it felt like there was information there. I learned something, but I was immediately kept from actually learning it by what sounded like you, in a way. Maybe a slightly different version of you.
I only know one me. That makes no sense.
Here's an idea. Let's try it again. And as I do the ritual, you should just like chant to yourself. You can look at me. You can look at me. And then that way we can counteract whatever it is.
Is this how your magic works?
I have no idea. This is the first time I've ever experienced this.
I have heard that when you affirm and confirm things with your words, it does bring it more truth. Therefore, if you do believe this would work, I have no reason not to oblige.
Unless you've got something better to do for the next 10 minutes, we might as well, right?
I do not believe I have anything else better to do. I'm sure there are plenty of things I could do, but I do think this is the better choice of those.
The setting of food that I have placed near Manalo is just going cold at this point.
Dahan looks out from around the corner, looking very dejected.
Do you want to bring food in first?
It can wait. It can wait.
But it'll be 10 minutes. I mean, it could get cold.
I can reheat. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's
We
fine.
don't have microwaves. Bring it in.
What? A what? A micro what?
That's Josh speaking. We don't have microwaves. Bring the food in.
But he does have an open flame. Like,
I'm gonna go back for seconds though, because like Pilar is watching all of this, like very interestedly, very interest. She's interested. What the heck is English? But she's
a terrible
also
language.
It's 47 languages in a badly stuffed trench coat. But she's also hungry, so she's gonna go back for. Actually, she's gonna take Manalo. Are you going to eat this food?
I will not lie to you. I forgot it was there. My senses were all focused on one thing. I am quite hungry, though.
I'll get it reheated, and I'll take the setting. I'll get it reheated, and I'll bring Manalo's food back out and food for myself. And
I'm going to say,
bring food for everybody.
I'm going to say, as you started to walk away, you would have seen a mage hand take my plate back.
Oh, all right then.
I do not need it. Heat it. Who did suit?
As you head inside, Pilar, you see Namaya and Amarao wrestling down a rather large fish.
Ooh.
Like they just caught it, and it's a little larger than they were expecting. So they're trying to get it to nail it down so they can prepare it for cooking.
Do they need help?
They appear to got it. It's just wrestling down a large fish is going to be hard no matter what. Dahan is just kind of like slowly whistling to himself while he's crouched over the stove cooking.
Also, just for clarification, what are I know Dahan is a Balat Kayo, but what are Namayan and Amarao?
Namayan is a human, Amarao is a half elf.
Human health. Okay.
Excuse me.
I'm just gonna give them the nod, like y'all got this, and probably get the nod back.
For the first time, Namayan has a smile on her face as she hits the blow on the fish, and there's just a spray of blood across the deck and across her. Just, yeah.
Okay.
And goes back down to looking at the fish.
Oh boy. Forget Ontog. Namayan's gonna kill us in our sleep. All right. And I was just Gaita, do you want breakfast?
Sure.
Okay, because there's fish, there's rice, and there's mango. So I'm gonna bring some of that all for Gaita, and we're just gonna sit and watch Da'ai and Manalo believe in themselves.
There's no orange jumpsuits here. Please desist. Da'ai, You cast Identify again. Do you cast it as a normal spell or a ritual?
I'll do it ritually again. This time, a little more insistent, perhaps in my dialogue with Hari. We'll perhaps kind of join Manalo if he does actually do his refrain of "You can see me."
Oh, well, no,
You can see me.
100%. He is 1000% as you have started. He kind of he's pausing for a while because he doesn't know when to start, and then he just starts.
Yeah, very good, very good. We can see you.
You can look at me.
We can see you.
You can. You can look at me.
Okay. Hari, do you check that out?
Look at me. I am right here.
We're looking at you.
Die. You are weaving the spell energy together to make the proper focus for it. And once it's all mostly formed up, you push it forward, trying to gather information about this mask.
Yes.
And you can sense as you send the spell out, you hit a wall and you're trying to find the edges of that wall, trying to paw your way across to the other side of it to reach what got pulled away. And you hear and feel a very audible, "What are you doing?" Just, what are you doing? Stop that.
I can see you.
Stop it.
I can see you.
This isn't for you. Go away.
I do believe in fairies.
Who is it for then?
What have you got him saying right now? Just get out of here. Just
Wait a minute. Who are you?
get out of here.
Who are you?
Doesn't matter who I am anymore to you. Just out.
Maybe it does.
How do I get you out of here?
Answer my questions.
This is awful.
Tell me what I want to know. Hari, help me with this.
Absolutely. I will stab your bird. Get out of here.
I don't think you actually can.
I mean, I can. I don't want to force it, but leave. Go. Shoot.
What is your name?
It doesn't matter what my name is anymore. Just
I will leave you alone if you tell me your name.
it doesn't matter anymore.
Why not? It
Because
could.
he has it now.
He has it now. Is it the same name?
Shoot. Shoot.
You're an interesting character. I'll be back. And I will finish the ritual.
Okay.
That was very odd. It was just very odd. Manalo, I think I just had a conversation with your subconscious.
Did you
who
look
is-
at me? Did you perceive?
I tried. She was very persistent that I could not.
But was it effective? Did you see them?
Well, I know a little more than I previously did. I think, to some extent, I think I was speaking with your subconscious, and maybe your subconscious is in the mask. I was very curious. We had a conversation. I was like, I can see you. And he was like, no, you cannot see. And I was like, but I can. I'm aware of you. And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, tell me your name. And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, but like, seriously though, who are you? And he was like, it doesn't matter anymore. And I was like, why doesn't it matter anymore? He said, because you had his name now.
I do not have anyone's name. I've had my name.
And that's what I thought. I think he's just wrong.
Paladin.
Yeah.
Because the eye will see Manalo just freeze. Did I wake up with Manalo on my mind, knowing that was my name?
Yeah.
I knew nothing else, but I knew my name.
Yeah.
Okay. I do not know why this entity, who you did see, I'm very proud of you. I do not know why they would claim that they gave their name away. I have had this name since I can remember.
Was it given to you? I mean, my name was given to me.
No, it was mine
Hmm.
when I woke up on the ship. But I knew my name was Manalo.
Well, I mean, I believe you. No, we could try it again. Are there questions that you would like for me to ask your subconscious?
I would not like to take up much time. If you believe they do not want to be perceived, then we can leave them alone for now. Perhaps it is a spirit. There are spirits who roam. Perhaps this mask has a spirit, and they were interested in me, and now they believe their name was actually mine. I don't know that part.
They seem to believe that they were you. We don't have to, but this is a prime opportunity to ask your subconscious any question you would like.
Do you think they know why I woke up on the boat?
We could ask. Would you like for me to ask that?
I would appreciate that, but I do not want to take up your time.
I've got nowhere to be. I'm on a boat. What am I going to do? Go fishing? Someone else is doing that. And I'm not good at fishing anyways.
You hear from inside the boat, you hear Namayan say, "We've got it."
I've been told that I am not welcome to help with the fishing.
Well, first, and I look at Gaita, well, I turn to Gaita and perhaps Pilar if they're still there. Is there anything you might need myself or die for? I feel like we might be preoccupied until we get to Talanan.
I don't think so.
Does anyone else have any questions they would like to ask Manalo's subconscious?
I think you're muted too, guys. I can't hear you.
Oh, I think you're free to do whatever you wish. I don't have any questions that I wouldn't just normally ask Manalo. So I think that you boys have fun, I guess.
I will say, question before I say this. Do I remember dream stuff, Paladin?
Yeah.
Okay. I will say, other than the sickness I felt, I was visited last night. I don't know who the spirits are, but it was not a good visit, or not one that seemed to make a lot of sense.
Perhaps it's the same one.
Well, it was 3 of them.
Oh, never mind.
Would you like to talk about it?
Well, I thought it was the 3 of you, and I went to go see, and they were impaled, hurt, damaged. They had the fangs of a serpent embedded within them. They were screaming that I needed to do something. They were screaming that... Going to my notes, y'all, sorry. It was something about freedom from her. I am unsure who that might be. But I was told that I was a weapon. I don't know what that means. And I don't know the legitimacy of their words, but they spoke a lot. It was interesting.
Were we all visited last night? I had a similar but different dream.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait. You all were visited by the three spirits as well.
Might have been different spirits. Mine were a little more, well, they made sense, for starters. Well, not that much sense, but a little bit.
That's concerning. Why would they all visit us at the same time? And why were the ones visiting me? Why were they hurt? I believe they were destroyed. As if something wanted them gone. Something told me to wake up. I did, I think. But it was strange.
Normally, these spirits visit to speak of possible destinies. I was aware of them before we started traveling together. They told me something very different, however, that this Untog that we're chasing is going to antagonize this maiden of blood, which I believe all young maidens are somewhat of blood, but it's besides the point. And that she was going to take the volcano, which is worrisome.
Which volcano?
They weren't as plain in naming anything specifically.
Is there a volcano on Talanan?
I'm assuming so.
What about you, Pilar? You said you were visited?
Yeah, they talked about my mom.
Was
And
that
me.
a bad talk?
Well, I don't know my mother because she's dead.
I can see how that may be concerning.
Yeah. Above the clouds, Latia really does not remember what they said.
I do.
She-
No, I don't. I didn't write yours down. Sorry.
She remembers being real angry, but she does not remember exactly what they said. They called her a bunch of stuff, and were just generally mean.
Ow, mother. I'm good.
Like that. I'll have to go back and listen. But yeah, I don't know, they talked about my hunting and if hunting animals was the same as hunting people or killing people. I don't hunt people. And they talked about my mother, and I just remember feeling very angry and then waking up.
Are there any headhunters in your family?
Me?
Not just in your family.
Not that I know of.
I'm just curious. I met one once. They were very friendly, actually, but I'm just curious, that's all.
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
I mean, if they are different branches of the family. It's just me and my dad.
That's fair. It was just a random question, really.
Did anyone else see a red sky and a world of scales and blood?
No?
I don't think so.
I went. They told me that they summoned me somewhere where it was most fitting for my creation. Perhaps that is the same for you?
What is your creation? I have not created anything that I know of.
Well, I deal with the Black River. So
Do I have any idea what the Black River is?
Generally, that is when someone dies, that the Black River is their passage to an afterlife. Whatever waits for them truly when they die, they go to the Black River to become acclimatized, to become a spirit. People who defy the Black River come back typically as Umalagad. And in some cases, they were brought back as Blat Kayo.
So you create things from the Black River? Is it like, do you freeze the river? Do you make it into...
Sorry,
sculptures?
I was clearing my throat. And to clarify, for anyone else, it's a one-way passage. You go down the river, you don't come back.
I wouldn't say that I was, they put it that I was created there, which in a way I suppose I was, but I came from my mother as most people do. But I work in tandem with it. I walk along its path, per se. Maybe for you, you walk along some scaly path? Or
The
you
only
did?
scales I know are those that are on fish. I don't know what that might mean. Perhaps the library in Talanan would be able to assist. There's a library there. I think it's make that up.
The library is in Iraga.
Iraga. Really?
We were told that we were going to go to a library or place of learning at our destination.
I didn't make that up, did I?
I'm not looking at a map of the islands. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Now, on Iraga, Iraga is a settlement on Tulunan.
Okay.
And there is, pull it up here.
The Great Library.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The Great Limestone Palace of Masindi. It houses a bamboo library.
Right. For some reason, now I'm looking at the map now, but for some reason, Tulunan was the island in the middle. I thought Tulunan was Timanvuk, not.
Can you spell? You didn't say Talanan. The place that's in Talanan.
Oh, Iraga.
Iraga. Can you spell it for me, please?
Sure thing.
Thank you. Iraga. Cool. Well, perhaps when we head there, we will be able to answer many questions that we might have developed tonight. Well, last night.
Yes. In the meantime, we could ask your subconscious all the questions too, though. It's a warm-up.
Di, you're really into this, aren't you?
I just, it's a new experience. Imagine if you could speak to something that is decidedly someone, but at the same time, decidedly not. It's fascinating.
I like your enthusiasm. Really, I do.
I begins to ask a question and then just thinks better of it and just reaches out and grabs a piece of mango from the nearest plate. It doesn't matter whose it is, and eats it.
It's probably mine.
Okay.
To be fair, that's payback for the cheese.
I don't know about the cheese.
You don't. You never will.
Probably not.
Then he'll say, then let us go to a different section so we don't bother anyone with our constant rambling about being able to look at me.
Yes, okay. Good.
Seems like it was effective last time. I believe we should continue.
I agree. Maybe we could change the message slightly so you could ask whatever the question is that we want answered. And then we can convince whatever this subconscious of yours is to answer the question.
I believe this might be interesting. Let us try.
Let's do it. And we'll just maybe go find a little quieter corner.
Oh my gosh.
And repeat the ritual again. This time, our question is, why did you wake up on the boat?
Okay, yes. And he says, is that what I need to repeat? Okay. Why did I
Yes.
wake up on the boat?
Why did you wake up on the boat?
The boat was my...
I can see you. Why did you wake up on the
I-
boat?
Why did my
You
presence...
form up over 10 minutes. You form up the spell once more, and you send it out towards the mask.
Yes.
And you sort of feel around for the wall again, and you get to the corners, and you hear again in that same voice, like Manal's, but a little less gruff. You rancid little freak!
Hold up now. Who are you? Who are you saying that about right now?
You!
Me?
You!
Oh, well, I told you that I would be back, so you can answer our questions, or you can continue to be bothered until I die. And guess what? I've got another 100 years of that.
Or, hear me out, leave.
No.
Leave me alone.
Why?
This isn't for you.
Who is it for?
It's for him.
Okay, he's asking why he woke up on the boat. Feel free to answer that question.
Because he died!
Okay, all right, now we're getting somewhere.
Look at the boat, it's a coffin!
Sure, I mean, that makes sense. Anyways, so what if I was to relay the information to Manalo? You said
Then
it's
you're
for him.
either a bastard or a fuck.
Well, hold up now. Or I could be a messenger.
Or you cannot. You
Why?
can stop meddling. This isn't for you.
This is literally my job. I'm retired. I have nothing better to do.
So you bother me?
Sure, why not? It's more entertaining than looking at the wall on the boat.
I would rather you spend just an uncomfortable amount of time with the scary woman currently gutting a fish.
Oh, she's fine.
She's scary. She's just a little intimidating and a little too intense. And I'd rather you spend time with her than bothering me.
Well, I tell you what, let's finish our chat and then maybe I'll go talk to her. Although, here's the thing. If you don't answer my questions very well, I might go and get my daughter's mother-in-law. And she's even less nice.
First off, fuck you.
Alternatively,
Second off, fuck her too.
Well, alternatively, fuck you right back, first. Second, I literally just want to know, are you a magical mask?
I am not a mask.
Okay, are you inside the mask?
Do you have like a line of questions that you just prepared for this to assail me with?
Maybe. Would you like to answer them and we can find out?
Absolutely not. No.
Look, I need to know.
Did someone draw an invitation on Manala's mask?
Well, that's a good idea.
No, it's not.
Too late. You've already put it into the universe. I'm going to do it
It's
now.
a terrible thing to do.
I'm going to do it.
Don't. Don't write on his. He's not gonna. Just leave me alone, okay?
But what if I don't want to?
Then you're being a nuisance. You're trespassing. How about that? Does that word mean anything to you? You're trespassing?
Trespassing?
Yes.
I'm here with permission. Manalo is literally chanting right now. Why did he wake up on the boat? You can see me.
Manalo is allowed here.
Yes, and
I have
am
a
helping
relationship
Manalo.
to Manalo. You have a
Oh.
relationship to Manalo. You're barely a friend of a friend.
What is your relationship to Manalo? Please tell me.
Why?
Because then I can tell Manalo something helpful. Right now, Manalo thinks that I'm just talking to him, but he's not aware of it. Or he thinks I'm talking to the mask. I don't know which one is worse.
I'm not Manalo.
You are not Manalo.
I am not just a mask.
You are more than a mask. You are not Manalo, though. Who are you? We get back to this point. It would be a very simple question to answer if you would like to.
I don't know you.
You don't know me.
And Manalo can't give you my name. So
Sure.
we're kind of hitting a wall here. Please leave.
So does Manalo have to give me your name in order for you to talk to me? Is that how this works?
No. He and I have a thing going on right now. Me and you? I'm not beholden to you. You've done nothing for me. I do nothing for you. There's nothing between us right now. I have no reason to answer any of your questions, but you still come in here barging in.
I'm not trying to butt into any relationships. My wife is dead, okay? I'm just trying to find out your name.
Sorry about your wife.
Are you? I really feel like you're not.
This I am sorry about. That's honestly terrible.
Inside check.
Go for it.
$18.
18?
Yes.
Okay. As far as you can tell, this person is being very sincere. They're sorry about specifically this and nothing else they've said.
Okay. I'll just make note of that mentally.
You are not supposed to be here right now. No one is supposed to be here right now. I am supposed to be here for a little bit and then go away.
When are you going to go away, and why are you going away? And why only a little bit?
Because what's going on between me and Manal right now is strange and hasn't really been done, and I'm not sure what the bylaws here are like right now. So we're kind of winging it.
Do you need like a spiritual lawyer? I
Nope.
happen to know a thing or two about talking to spirits.
Nope.
No? Okay. Do you need like a really good blacksmith?
Nope.
Just like a piece of mango?
I have no organs. I have no mouth.
Yet you must yell.
Yelling
okay.
ology, capable of doing it without a mouth.
Okay, all right. Well, I can't necessarily think of anything else to ask, but
So we done?
at some point you're gonna have to tell Manalo about yourself, right? Right? 'Cause
Oh,
he doesn't know
absolutely
who-
not. I'm going to tell him exactly nothing.
Why not? You literally exist like in his space.
And
You need consent for that.
he's the one with the mask. I'm forcibly along for the ride.
So you are tied to the mask.
Get out.
Fine. I'll finish the ritual.
Guy Templar, what are you doing during this like 20-minute span of time?
I don't know what Pilar is doing. I think Pilar is just sitting there, really. Like, is there any audible conversation coming from the eye right now? Like, we don't hear any of that? Okay.
Nope.
Do you gesticulate the eye?
I imagine that he's maybe so initially he was like, like doing something with Hari. He's probably at some point kind of sat down and is just like intently staring at the mask. But like you can see that he's like fidgeting a lot, even if he's not like actively like speaking or moving or anything dramatically.
So like Pilar is watching this with some sort of amusement at the eye's persistence. She says to Gaita, has he always been like this?
Yes. Persistently curious and in other people's business, I suppose. Kindly, respectfully. A nuisance.
Interesting. I guess it's nice to have people who care that much.
Yes, I believe he's doing it for the right reasons. Perhaps just good reason and low manners, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
While it's just the two of us, you spoke briefly about your mother. I don't wish to overstep, but you don't know anything about her?
My father says she was a wonderful woman, but she died giving birth to me.
Do you wish to know any more about her?
I don't know. I suppose she named me. So
It's a good name.
Thanks.
You remind me a bit of my youngest.
Oh yeah.
She's also headstrong and independent. If there is any sanctuary, I suppose, in having I suppose I'm elderly now, but an older lady to confide in, then I'd be happy to assist you in any way I can.
You see this look come across Pilar's face like this is something that she has never thought of before in her life. Yeah, actually that wouldn't be too bad.
Sometimes there are just things that I think fathers are incapable of empathizing with, I suppose, when you're raised as a young girl. So those days are long gone for me, but you have ages ahead of you, and if for any reason you have questions, especially about marriage, I have plenty to say about that. I'm here.
You see Pilar's eyes glaze over as soon as you mention marriage. She just goes glassy-eyed. She refocuses and says, thank you, Gaita. That's very kind.
It is quite impressive to see a young woman such as yourself. I mean, commanding this very large boat. I was always just at home. My daughter has gone on to do other things, but I've never really seen this. So it is also inspiring for me. Perhaps there is still time left for me to be adventurous and youthful.
Well, if you feel particularly adventurous, then we can be really awesome together.
I would appreciate that. Perhaps on our way over, do you think we will come upon any sharks?
There's always a possibility.
I would greatly like to wrestle one, at least once.
You're so cool.
It can't be any harder than putting a baby down to sleep at night, so I imagine I could do it.
Pilar makes a mental note to let Namayan and Amarao know that if they come across a shark, to let her know so that they can fish it up for Gaita.
Keep it alive.
Of course.
We'll put it
One
in the
fear.
bathtub.
One fear. One very large fear. Manalo and I, what are you two doing?
What
Okay, so-
happened when I left? Sorry.
Girl talk.
Anyways, I was speaking to the thing in your mask. I don't think it's your subconscious anymore. I've moved past that theory. They said somewhat adamantly that they are not your mask, but that they also implied that they are somehow tethered to the mask or attached to the mask. Maybe the mask is an anchor. I don't know. They said that I did not have a relationship with them, but that they did have a relationship with you. It seems like they think that they're associated with you somehow. I don't know. And they said something about how they didn't quite understand like the rules of whatever that relationship is and how they're associated with you. But also, they said that they didn't want to talk to you, but that you were the only one they would talk to. And also that they did not plan to stay for a very long time in the mask or tethered to the mask.
I want you to know that I am sure all of this makes sense to you, but it does not make any sense to me.
That's fair. I don't know that it makes that much sense to me either, to be perfectly honest.
I do not know anyone. I have not heard someone who knows me within my mask. I have never interacted with it other than feeling it, just to understand why it's there, or the fact that it is there to begin with.
Yes, and they said like very specifically that that they did not want to talk to you whatsoever.
Hey, Paladin.
Yes.
In my dream, the last thing I heard was someone say, "Go back to sleep." Is it a good assumption that it was this entity?
It is a bad assumption to assume it's this entity.
It's a bad assumption.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I asked is you said it was a familiar voice, and I was like, is it my voice? It's not my voice. It's someone else. That makes it worse. Oh, God. Okay. Y'all take notes because the strings coming everywhere right now is wow.
Take notes. If you look carefully, you can see the grindstone of the knife your DM is preparing for you.
Yes. Perhaps I can speak to them, but I do not have the ability to access the arcane like you do. I could force them to be my friend, but I don't think that would be useful.
Yeah, I don't actually know what caused it. I have no idea if there's a way for you to communicate with them. I think you would have to try to speak to them yourself.
How much farther are we from the island?
You're like 6 days away.
6 days. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Perhaps. But I think for now we can leave it and tend to the boat and continue the journey. I feel a headache coming on, and I wouldn't want that to mess up my general perception.
That's fair. We've been at this a long time. It's probably worthwhile to begin to get ready for lunch, perhaps.
I wonder if they have any cheese.
If not, I still have some.
If I had a brow, you would see it raise.
As you're talking, and just kind of settling down for about the midday, you hear this blaring horn, like someone blowing into a horn.
We don't have a horn, do we? I don't remember paying for a horn.
No.
Okay. So there's this, Pilar is actually in the middle of a very spirited reenactment for Gaita about a particularly nasty boar she took down when this goes off. So she looks up like, what is going on?
Immediately you see your three rowers, your three people who commanded your ship essentially appear on their respective positions, and one of them, Namayan, points just off to your right, and you see someone like saddling something on the water's surface.
Saddling something.
They're riding atop something as they are moving at just a breakneck speed towards your ship. You see them holding a massive spear in one hand and blowing into a horn in the other. And you see them start to rise up out of the water.
Nice. Yeah, don't like it.
And you see that they have armored up and mounted on top of a flying shark.
Damn Tiburon.
Yes. Tiburonus riders. Yes.
And with that, we are going to take our break.
Oh my God.
We'll be back in about 10 minutes, folks. See you then.
How?
I'm so excited.
And we are back. Could I get some initiative from our wonderful players?
No.
No, you're treating us too nicely. That means that we're about to die.
Sorry, could I get some initiative rolls from my terrible, awful, no good players?
Yes.
Who deserve nothing but to be bitten by a shark.
Yes.
There you go. Do you have my initiative, sir?
Oh no. Oh no. These initiative rolls are
Come on, Manalo. Come on, Manalo. You got this. Come on, Manalo.
What'd you get for initiative, Manalo?
Are you allowed to add your dex when you roll a crit fail?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Can I get clarity for the people who rolled fives? Gaita, what's your dex mod?
2.
A 2? Okay,
So
so
asking a barbarian versus a rogue.
yeah. So Manal will be going before Gaita.
Gosh.
In a battle of who is the least responsive to the fight.
Exactly.
Well, as it turns out, the large flying shark and the man atop it are also not that responsive.
Oh no.
Okay, then let me just get these initiatives down and we will get this underway. Oh, Frabjous Day.
Don't you kalukale us.
That's copyrighted.
Stop me.
This is the bit where you
Copyright
reveal-
can stop you.
Alice in Wonderland is open market. It's not
Public domain?
public domain. Thank you, public domain.
Open market.
Okay, Alice in
Open
Wonderland,
market.
but it's Into the Looking Glass. That's the question.
Someone can Google that for me, I guess.
I
don't know.
will while I get on my natural one.
You've got time.
I think this is the part of the show where we reveal that we hired level 10 fighters.
All right. Surprisingly, Pilar, you are first. How do you open up combat? This rider is 100 feet away.
Okay, I want y'all to know. I rolled a 12.
You got lucky. It's public domain. Sorry.
And I'm first.
I studied this in high school.
I rolled a 12 and I'm first. Oh no. Okay. Cool. It's 100 feet away. Awesome.
Yep.
I'm gonna. Oh no. It takes time to load things. You know what? I'm gonna do something. Shoot. I'm gonna load a Lantaka. Loading.
Lantaka.
I'm gonna load a Lantaka.
All right. Lantaka is mounted on the back. He is coming from the side.
No, I mounted them on either side.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
right. All right.
We talked about this. You and your frappuccinos.
Frabjous Frappuccinos.
Oh, Frabjous Chinos.
Coming to you soon from Buckstar.
Sponsor
Anything
us.
else you want to do with your turn?
No, because it's an action to load, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then yeah, that's all I can do. Let's see. Wait, I can bonus action do something. No, I can't.
You can't?
No.
Okay. This person is moving fast on the Tiburones. And this Tiburones is literally just hauling as fast as it can, and you can see the water moving away from it as it's sailing just above the surface. Mm-hmm. This person sails just above you all, and reaches down with.
Wait, it's 100 feet away.
100 feet away.
How much movement do Tiburones have?
120 feet if they dash.
Yeah.
Are they flying or are they in the water?
Tiburones are flying sharks.
They have.
I'm sorry. I couldn't tell if the shark completely came out of the water or they're still in the water.
It's out of the water. It's using its fly speed.
Gotcha. Never mind. That's what I need to know. Thank you.
This person comes around with looks to be a hooked spear, like a harpoon. And here comes my favorite part of this encounter. Could all four of you please roll me 1d4?
No.
Why?
No.
I don't want to.
1.
3 is the magic number, Pilar.
Oh,
What is your AC?
16.
16. All right. This person hits you with the harpoon.
No.
As the Tiburones is flipping, so it's upside down, and the person is holding onto the ropes and hits you with the harpoon.
Hold on. So it does one of those dives over and then it like turns and is like majestic. Like it would look pretty if it weren't trying to kill me.
Yes.
Great.
This is a very, very violent Free Willy.
This is Fast and the Furious.
You got
That's
to
what it is.
roll me.
CB, stop.
So then you are. Oh my god. Please take
I don't want to.
You are
8 points of damage.
Okay.
Can you make me a strength saving throw?
Oh, no. No. Oh, 19.
19. You are not pulled.
Oh, I'm holding on to the Lantaka for dear life.
You are able to avoid getting hooked by the harpoon and violently dragged away from the rest of your group. However, this man has multi-attack. Gaita,
Yes.
what's your AC?
13.
I meet. Can you make me a strength saving throw? And also take 6 points of damage?
Strength saving throw? 12.
12?
Uh-huh.
You are just off of the ship and thrown into the water 20 feet away from your boat.
I can't, like, grab the rope to try and hang on?
He is holding onto the rope. He hit you with the harpoon, and he flung you with the harpoon.
Oh. So there's no rope. He's just
No
shot,
rope
like,
near
a thing
you to
at me.
grab.
Okay.
It's just for him on the actual mount itself.
Got it. Cool.
Now then, that is going to bring us over to Manala's turn.
Jesus.
So Gaita just got yeeted off the boat.
Yeeted off the boat.
Zetus the Petus. Okay, cool. Well, I am probably not the best choice to go get you for many reasons. So, where is the person now? How far away have they gotten?
They are on the other side of the boat from y'all, 20 feet away from it in the air.
Nothing. That's fine. Whatever. Okay.
You're muted.
Yes.
All right. Continue.
Let me live. I will get to a spot not far, just like perhaps like behind a pole or something, just to get a little bit of something in front of me. And you see, I kind of go rigid and still as I hold out my hand, trying to place it in the air towards where I believe the Tiburon is to be. As I steady my aim, as a bonus action, I can give myself advantage on one attack roll.
Hey.
On my next attack roll on the current turn.
Okay.
Wait. I lied. I do not move. I do not move from spot because it specifically says I can't use this bonus action if I haven't moved yet. That is fine. Anywho, I will still steady myself, giving myself advantage to attack the person, not the Tiburones.
Okay.
Tiburon. Is it Tiburones or Tiburones?
Tiburones.
Tiburones. Thank you. Not using that die because you gave me a natural one. Don't like that. All right, and I'm trying to hit it with an Eldritch Blast.
Natural ones are great. What are you talking about?
Natural 20.
E.
And a natural 1.
Oh.
Okay.
That's funny. Yeah, not using you anymore either. Great. Cool. Okay. So that's I'm assuming a 24 hits.
24 hits. Since you're
Right.
attacking with advantage, you would get sneak attack, and since you crit, you would add sneak attack dice twice.
Oh, I'm ready for this. Cool beans and collard greens. Okay, that is.
I shouldn't have told you that.
Ooh, 17 plus.
He would have figured it out eventually.
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, no.
It's not for this fight, maybe.
You just told a rogue how to crit.
I love to hear all those dice on our side.
Get ASMR.
They sound better when they're coming from me.
How about your face?
No, they don't.
Mathiana.
No, they're not
18
cute.
is 18. 35 points
There
of
you
force
go.
damage.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I think I just aim, just trying to see exactly where to go. As I think what actually happened is as they're flying, I go a little past where they are,
Yes.
trying to get that trajectory. So they kind of run into it. Saying, I'm tired. Can you not do this today? That's me.
You send out your Ultra Plus, and you see it makes this huge bruise mark across the entirety of their right arm and torso. It's just, it looks like it got crushed by something.
As it did. And now I cannot move until the end of my turn, and it's the end of my turn. So that's me now.
That brings us to
me now.
Gaita,
Okay.
you are falling to the water.
Can I rage while I'm in the air?
Yes.
I'm just y'all just hear Kaito go, "What the fuck?" She's like flying off. I'm in a rage.
Okay.
What are my rules for combat while I'm in the water?
There is hold up. Let me pull this up real quick. Fighting. I believe since you're on the surface of it, not underwater, you don't fight. You don't have any major consequences. It's just you're in the water currently, away from the boat.
Okay.
Yeah. You from your vantage point here, however, you see some people just below the surface of the water swimming towards your boat.
Of course.
Okay. Are they also on sharks?
They are not.
Okay. Awesome.
It looks like they're trying to be unseen while they go towards your boat.
Okay. With my carpenter background, would I have rope on me?
You would, yes.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do, or I'm gonna attempt to do. I would like to take out one of my javelins or spears.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to tie the rope to myself and to my javelin. And then if I have enough action left, I would like to then throw it at the shark. And then can I use my movement to climb up the rope?
I'm sorry, that's not how I thought that sentence was going to end.
Oh my god! Oh,
Day.
okay.
Gaita has invented the tow cable.
Okay, then let's do this.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that you can tie the rope to the javelin and then to yourself.
Okay.
And then you can throw it. If you can roll let's go with athletics check high enough, as well as an attack roll high enough. You're not just trying to hit its AC, you're hitting a higher AC because you're trying to get it to stick.
Okay.
So roll me an athletics and then an attack roll for the javelin.
Okay, so I'm
metal as shit.
I'm rolling with advantage because I'm raging.
Oh fuck.
So the strength check or the athletics check, sorry, is a 17.
Okay.
And then just an attack?
Yep.
Okay. And that's just with javelin. Okay. So it's a math. It's a 20. Dirty 20.
Okay. You tie the rope to the javelin to yourself fast enough, just 2 simple quick nuts, and just screaming as there's just this unholy mist around you, just woof, it hurls into the air, and you all see this javelin go into Tiburones and just poke at the other side of it.
Okay, and then if I have movement, then I'll climb. But if not, I'll wait till next turn.
You're able to climb. You're able to climb 10 feet up, which is about halfway to Tiburones.
Okay, great.
What the fuck?
Do I also roll damage for the spear?
Yes, please. Yes,
Okay.
please.
Oh shoot! I didn't write down what kind of damage I do.
This is backfiring rapidly.
You said it was flying and that somebody could ride it, so why not me?
I need fan art
I need it.
of Gaita getting on this Tiburones.
Oh,
I need so much fan art. Hey, y'all, while she's getting this done, get some fan art. Make some Tampo fan art.
Right.
Do it for the
Yes.
culture.
Yes. Okay.
Please don't work for free.
I ain't say work.
So it's 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. Oh, okay then. God Almighty, you're frightening. All right, is it the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay, that brings us to the eye.
I pick my jaw up off the floor. I turn to whomever the nearest crewmate is and I go, "Do not cross her." And then I will look around. I was going to do several things, and most of them don't make sense now.
You had plans.
Yeah. I think I can still do one thing. And I will cast aid on everyone who is not currently tied to a shark. Because I think I can get 3 people. And I'm sure that Gaita is not in range at this point.
No, she is not. No.
So Manalo and Pilar and myself all get 5 additional hit points, temporary maximum hit points for the duration of the spell. And I just go, wow. And I guess I'll walk over to the Lintaka and try to help Pilar because I don't know what's going on right now.
All right. Is it the end of your turn?
Yeah, as Hari flies back from going over to Pilar and to Manalo to I guess hover near me again, I'll just be like, "What the fuck?"
Could y'all tell me what y'all's passive perceptions are?
17.
Okay.
We missed it, CB.
I don't know why I'm not muted. 16.
16. Okay.
13.
13. Okay. Let me just roll. All right. What?
I just can't believe that one.
Neither can I.
What's that look for, Latia?
Nothing. Paladin, don't worry about my face.
When a DM is excited about the things they're about to do and they visibly show it.
Yes.
That's what that face was.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You can't play coy with Will. We all are very insightful.
Not just as D&D characters, but as friends of you,
As
Paladin.
What
Honestly,
does that
primarily.
mean? Am I a deceitful individual? What are you talking about?
Yes.
Continue.
Pilar, it is your turn.
Oh, okay. Well, how far away is the shark and rider from me now?
They are 20 feet away from the boat, which
Okay.
means that they are 45 feet away from you.
Okay, because I'm on one side of the boat and they're on the other side of the boat.
Yep.
Nice. Then I'm gonna turn because she curses herself for not realizing that she should have started at the other Lantaka because of this exact thing. But she's gonna turn and draw her sumpit and fire at the
Okay.
rider.
Please roll the hit.
That's cocked. That's not cocked. That's a 19.
19.
Mhm.
That is a hit.
Heck yeah. I'm gonna do the thing that I do because of who I am as a person. I hit him, so I'm gonna mark him as my favorite enemy. And favorite enemy.
Provid Emily.
Exactly.
Sea anemone.
Cinnamon and enemy.
Cinnamon and honey.
Anonymous Minty.
Going to a snowball's knee. Like, what? Come on.
We're just currently decaying, folks. Don't need to worry.
Oh, Lord.
Apagando las luces. Okay.
Thank you.
6 plus 9. 9 points of piercing damage.
9 points of piercing. All right.
Yeah, as a sumpit dart just shanks him in like the back of the shoulder.
Okay. All right. You do definitely shoulder check him with your sumpit dart. You see Gaita holding onto this rope attached by javelin to this Tiburones, and you see the Tiburones start to move in a circle very quickly. And you see Gaita starting to be swung around. Gaita, can you make me an athletics check?
Right. I forgot that it's not like in that round, I forgot that it is not just leaping, it is flying.
Yes.
This is exciting.
A strength check.
Yes.
That is an 18.
18. Okay, you are able to keep your current position on this thing. It spins you around and wraps the rope around the main mast of your ship.
Oh no!
Okay.
And the Tiburones starts trying to pull.
Mm-mm.
And you start to hear wood splintering.
Like you hear Pilar start shrieking. Like, no!
I do not know what is happening, but it sounds like wood is being broken.
You, the rider, you all see, and Omega, Manalo, you do sense this, goes to the side of the Tiburones with his spear. He puts both feet on the now taut rope, just balancing on it, and stabs two-handed with his spear at Gaita.
Or can you not?
Oh, that's
No.
a 20 and a
No.
19 before
No.
modifiers.
No, get out.
No.
So am I the anchor on this rope to be pulling down the mast?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh. That is
Luckily, they went to the Raging Barbarian. That's all that matters.
Right?
19.
We love you, Gaita.
We do. But soak up this damage for us.
That is 29 points of damage halved. However, you will also be taking 9 points of poison damage.
That's rude.
Rudiana.
and you see this man looks a little concerned at this woman who's just holding onto the mast and the rope, who has anchored herself to his shark. He's what the fuck? Get off of my shark! And that brings us over to Manalo.
Now, would he actually call it a shark, or would he call it a tiburonus?
He's calling it a shark.
But is it technically a shark, or is it technically...
It's technically a tiburonus.
I just got so confused.
I'm just curious. I'm like, is shark what we call it? But
it's like calling
it's
like calling like a bahir just a big lizard.
Gotcha. Fella.
Like we all know what it technically is. What using the shorthand name for it is a little easier sometimes for quick communication.
I got you. I'm here for. I get to know shark was actually in the lexic. Is all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to study my aim again because it's not really focusing me. And
oh my god!
Right.
What is wrong with us today?
Everything.
Would you like an itemized list?
The United States is melting right now.
An alphabetical list?
He can't hear us, but if he had got a 20, I'm gonna scream.
I'm sure that he did, and that's why he's taking a picture of it.
Prepare to mute your mic.
Look at Discord in 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Don't actually count. Don't count. Don't do it. There we go. Literally got another natural 20 and another natural 1.
All right.
Don't like that. That's almost creepy.
Roll some damage. Oh, please don't hurt my shark man.
I'm not a shark. I'm not.
I said shark. I said shark man.
Oh, shark man. Oh, I think like don't get my shark man.
What does the person on this shark look like?
I'm a very, very confused, very angry tiefling.
Oh, cool.
I am so sorry. That's 3 5s and a 6, so that's already 21. Plus,
is he hot though?
Get him.
I mean, it's a tiefling.
All right.
You know that other context, he'd treat you right.
What did I say? 31. That's 21, 31. 39 points of what is
force
it?
damage?
That part.
Oh my god. Okay. As you blast him again in that same wounded area, he does not look good right now.
And I guess say, stop hitting her. That's all I have though.
Okay. That brings us over to Gaita.
Okay. I am going to use my movement to get up there.
Yes,
Okay.
Gaita.
And then he's not in the saddle. He's like strapped his feet in, correct?
No, he's just standing on the rope.
On the rope.
Yes.
That's attached to me.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna get up on the shark. And then I'm going to
So real quick.
Okay.
There's 20 feet of distance. You can only get about 5 feet away from the mast currently, because it is wrapped around.
What do you mean?
You are swung like a chain around the mast itself.
Okay.
So some of the distance has been used to wrap around the mast, and because you're tied to it, you can't move that far away from the mast right now.
Oh, right. So there's some of the rope is taken up by the fact that it's wrapped around the mast, and
Okay.
you can't get so far because it's like tiburoness mast.
Because I'm tied to it.
Yeah, because
Yes.
you're tied to it. You can't get as
Okay.
far as you want to.
If you untie yourself, you can get closer, but you'll be untied from the shark as well. From Tiburon as well.
But I can still hold on to the rope.
Yes.
Okay. I will. Also, if I cut the rope, wouldn't that mean that he falls?
If he doesn't make a save, yes.
Okay. I'm going to cut myself from the rope out so that I can get up there. I'm going to hang on, and then would that count as like my action to cut out, or?
I would count that as interacting with an object, so a free action to just sit on the rope.
Okay, so I cut myself out. I'm going to use as much as my movement to try and get up there. Can I get up to the shark?
You would have to go past the rider, either just like bull-rushing past him somehow, or jumping over him, or jumping straight to the shark. You are within reach of the shark. It's just a matter of getting to it.
Okay, I'm gonna use my movement to try and get up to him, and then I'm gonna hang on, and I'm gonna go for like his feet or his legs to try and knock him off the rope.
Okay, go.
Okay. Or would it be more advantageous for me to try and just throw him off? No, I'll stab him. I'll stab him with my sword. My large sword. I'll make it reckless too. Why not? Cool. Those were like one number away.
No, Paladin, stop, face.
So that is a 16 to hit.
16 does not hit.
No. The
Should try to
magic.
throw him off. Okay, that's all I can do with my turn then.
Don't want to try and jump over to the shark?
I can jump?
You can jump. Yeah, you have legs.
I didn't know. I thought it was like farther than that.
You ran up to hit him. You can jump from there to the shark. At this point, he would get a chance to hit you, but you know.
Do it.
Yeah,
live your dreams, Gaita.
You know what? I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna try and jump to the shark.
Going to take my reaction attack with my curved harpoon at advantage.
Oh yeah, he set that up.
No, he absolutely did. It's fine.
Yeah.
I do hit. Please make me a strength check to not be dragged away from the shark and then thrown.
How big is this?
You are raging. You have advantage.
Yep.
Yes. Strength check is a 16.
Fuck. You feel him try, and like he hits you with the harpoon and tries to drag you away, but you're able to still grab onto some of the ropes on the shark and pull yourself onto it. You are currently on the Tiburones.
Okay.
You will, however, take 14 points of slashing damage and 4 points of poison damage.
I want this harpoon.
No, was that halved already?
It was not halved, no.
Okay, so 7, and then you said 4 points of damage or 4 points of poison?
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Pilar wants this harpoon.
Harpoon!
Okay.
And that will take us over to Dai.
You know how it feels to be in the shoes of a Babylon? Yep.
Just take in my surroundings and I go, what the fuck?
The eye is cursing. What is happening?
Right?
And I just look over at Hari and I say,
Dai?
yes.
You hear some. You know that your workers are on the outside of the boat. You hear some shuffling from inside the boat.
Oh no, ma'am.
Get out of my boat.
A problem. I say, I'm going to look to Hari and I'm going to say, and I'll just kind of generally point and guide his direction, like maybe, and I'll turn to walk inside the boat as Hari is going to go up and cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level on Gaita.
Okay.
So you will get I can do math.
Can you?
No.
It's overrated.
You get 14 hit points back.
Less.
Stop.
And then I walk to the interior of the boat. What do I see?
You see two people with bushels of your food in their arms.
Hey, that's my food.
Is that the end of your turn?
Now it is.
They bolt with about a week and a half's worth of supplies.
Oh my sweet.
How can they carry that much?
Bags.
They haven't had. Never mind.
And they start bolting out of the interior of the ship. You can see them making a beeline, and you hear, as soon as the curtain closes, you hear a splash of water.
No.
Now hold on now.
When was their turn?
If we was on this boat, would we be storing all our stuff in just bags?
No. They have bags.
Oh. I don't like you.
My food. My mangoes.
Mongols. Hey, we can fish.
Yeah.
Let's get that harpoon and then we can fish.
We'll ferment some fish.
Let's get that harpoon and we can fish for the people with our food.
Dang,
You then hear the most horrific chain of swears coming from Amurao, who was on that side of the vessel. And then you hear the sound of Lintaka going off.
Love that girl.
Good, very good, very good.
Let's see if she hits.
Oh, love that girl. Love her.
Oh. No. You hear the title go off, and you hear Amuro go, yes.
Good shot.
That brings us to the top with Pilar.
Cool. So just to get a current grasp of the situation, there's currently a speared Tiburones flying above above my Karakoa with Gaita currently on it, and the person who was on it also kind of like fighting for dominance there. Manalo hasn't moved so much, but is doing a wonderful job. And the eye has observed our food being taken.
Mm-hmm.
Where are Dahan and Namayan?
Dahan is on top. You see that he's actually trying to use some level of magic to try and reinforce the mast, to stop it from just being snapped off.
Mm-hmm.
You see Amuro trying to spin the Lentaka around to get a good bead on the Tiburones.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna do something. I would like to. Let's see. And you said that this Carabao Tiefling hottie does not look so good?
Yeah, not doing so hot.
Okay.
Like he's a room temperature Carabao man right now.
No, he's a room temperature Carabao man. Okay. Let's cool him further. He's still my, let's see. He is still my preferred adversary. So I'm going to fire at him again.
Okay.
Is there a way that I can Hail of Thorns? How far away is he from Gaita?
From Gaita, he is 10 feet away from Gaita.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I'll cast Hail of Thorns and fire.
Okay. Roll. What does it do?
It's a bonus action to cast, and then when I fire, the target and each creature within 5 feet has to make a dex saving throw or take an additional 1d10 piercing damage.
Okay, DC?
13. That is
Pass and fail.
What? Oh,
Pass
for
and
him.
fail.
Oh, for him and the Tiburonis.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That is a number plus another number. That's a 21.
Does it affect objects?
It doesn't. It just says the target and each creature.
Okay, then just living things then.
Yes.
All right. So how much damage overall for him?
So I'm gonna roll the Hail of Thorns dice, the damage separately, so that we can have that properly. Damage to him is 11 points of piercing damage, plus another 7 on the fail, and then 3 on the pass.
Okay. Cool. Let me just. 74. Okay, cool. He's still up.
Actually,
Don't forget favorite foe.
no, I didn't forget it. I forgot that I was concentrating on that, so I cannot cast Hail of Thorns because I would lose concentration on favorite foe. So take away the Hail of Thorns damage.
So 7 and 3.
Yeah, so take that damage away.
Give
Yeah,
me
the one
second.
flaw about favorite foe is that it requires concentration. It is a lesser version of Hunter's
Mark.
that still requires concentration. Not my favorite.
Do you require concentration on Hail of Thorns to have it active?
Yes, because I don't have to use it right away.
Okay. Cool. All right. Then remove that damage. So he looks marginally better. It's the end of your turn.
It's the end of my turn. So I technically still have a bonus action. But I don't have any bonus actiony things to. I'm gonna move closer.
Gonna move closer?
Yeah, I'm just gonna move closer.
Okay. This then it's his turn now. He moves 5 feet onto the Tiburonis, grabs onto some rope there, uses one attack to cut with his harpoon the rope attaching Tiburonis to the mast.
Okay.
Uses the rest of his movement to move onto the other side of the Tiburonis.
Mm-hmm.
The Tiburonis turns upside down and back slams onto the ship.
Hey now.
Gaita, can you make me a strength? Can you make me a strength saving throw with disadvantage?
Go straight roll.
Yeah, straight roll then.
That is a 24.
24.
Mm-hmm.
All right then. Can you please make me an athletics check?
Sure.
Ride this shark, Gaita. Ride it.
Ooh. That's a 10.
Did you do that at advantage?
I did.
Let me see.
It sounded like it. I just wanted to confirm.
Oh!
No.
Please take 32 points of damage. Have that.
Okay.
Because you only rolled a 10, you don't maintain grip.
So you fall off the shark.
The shark then flips over, and you see the man climb to the other side of it, and they dive into the water.
Okay.
You have, at the end of his turn, Manala, you can sense them in the water. It's a little muddled because of the water, but you can sense them in the water still.
How far away did they get down?
They were able to make it 30 feet down into the water.
Do it.
$30 feet down?
30 feet down.
Okay. I will technically dash to the ledge of the ship.
Okay.
As I get there, can they make a wisdom saving throw?
Oh,
Love that. Love that for us.
what's the DC?
What is the DC? What's it? 14.
14. They do not pass.
Okay. That will be 11 points of psychic damage.
11 points.
Yes, sir. And then I can do this at disadvantage if you want me to. I am pretty perceptive, including with my blind sight. But I am shooting into the water with my Eldritch Blast. It is magic. It will not be hindered by the water.
Yeah, make the attack.
Okay. I just kind of aim where I think he might be in the focusing on like him versus the Tiburones. That is not a crit, but it is a 22 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. For 9 points of force damage.
9 points of force damage. You send out this blast, and with your awareness, you sense a body floating up.
I sense that. Good.
Mhm. You don't sense the shark anymore.
Valid. I will do the silliest thing I ever would do, and I will jump into the water with my movement.
Manolo!
Okay. At this point, combat is over.
Mhm.
Amara was able to get some of the supplies, so you've only lost 4 days worth of food and water.
Gonna say I was gonna run up and see about helping get the other one that was stealing our supplies. So
I will give you one chance to try and get them to let go. What do you want to do?
Let's. Would I be able to get into range to touch them or no?
No.
Okay. Then I guess I'll throw my bolo that I have, because I definitely have melee weapons and have the ability to cast
Go ahead and make the attack roll.
spells at range. That I can totally do that. I can cast bolo.
Cast Bolo?
I can cast bolo because my bird is on the other side of the boat.
Okay.
That is an 18 to hit with the bolo, though.
Okay. Because you're throwing it into underwater terrain, can you roll that again with this because of disadvantage?
Yes.
Ooh.
Still a 13.
13. 13 does not hit.
Ooh.
I'm out of bolo now.
It kind of hits the surface of the water, goes underneath a little bit, and then floats back up. You lose 4 days worth of supplies.
That's okay.
You have taken damage to the top part of your ship, a little damage to the struts, and critical damage to your mast. It's still functional, but you should get on that ASAP. But you did kill the rider.
I was gonna say, soon as things quiet down, and I notice that I'm pretty sure I see Manalo jump overboard. I go to the side of the boat that he is on, and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
I was making sure they were dead. I sensed the body of the individual no longer having life.
Do you sense the harpoon?
You do.
I will look up. No, I will not. I will my head will look up towards Pilar, and just they're kind of honing on thinking about this is a weird flavor, but I'm thinking about echolocation and things, and I'm trying to picture what they might have seen, because I didn't see it, and what Gaita might have seen, but I do feel its presence, and I go, "You mean the thing that they hurt Gaita with?"
Yes, their weapon. I'm sorry.
The mage hand goes towards it, because I'm not swimming towards it.
Yeah, no worries. You retrieve this weapon that this person was using.
Yeah.
And you're able to, if you want to recover the body to get what he had on him, you can do that as well.
Probably will.
Yeah.
Because it's D&D. It might be pre-colonial Filipino culture inspired, but it's still D&D.
There are
we
different
might-
rules here.
We might be able to figure out something about where he came from and why with his clothing, though. So
True. Yeah, I will. So the mage hand will go after the harpoon while I flop like a Magikarp towards the body. I really don't think I can swim, y'all, and not because I can't sense what's around me. I don't think I can swim.
Just constantly, you go out and.
if Manalo looks like he's struggling, I will get down. Like I'll get rope and I'll get down there. Oh my lord!
You're able to get Manalo and the corpse onto the ship as well as the harpoon.
He's not struggling that bad, but that's that's funny.
Oh no! You broke him.
I broke him.
Broke him. He's broken.
Okay. So you're able to get to the body. On him, you are able to retrieve. He was wielding a songil.
Ooh.
It is presented in the book. It's on page 207, but in short, it is regarded as the most dangerous type of spear. The metal spearhead is nearly a foot in length and painstakingly sharpened on both sides. This person attached a metal hook to near the base of the spearhead itself.
That is gross, she says, admiring it.
It is it deals 2d6 piercing damage. As well, it has finesse and reach.
Amazing.
And where did the poison damage come from? Did it come from him or did it come from the weapon?
From him.
Understood.
This thing is obviously well used. You can see traces of coral that was like attached to it at one point, coating it. Mm-hmm. This thing has seen a lot of use. It is battle tested and ocean defeating. It is this gnarly piece of weaponry, and it's yours now.
Heck yeah, it is.
The cost was just one murder.
Murder!
One murder over 20 gold.
He himself, he was wearing some reinforced leather for armor.
Mine's better.
Okay. No one was making it a contest.
Well, the contest failed on his part because he's dead.
And he had an amulet. He has an amulet on himself.
What's the amulet?
What does it look like?
What does it feel like? Is it a jewel? Is it metal? Is it coral?
It looks like a piece of preserved water just held in place. It's not ice, but it just looks like a piece of distilled water unmoving in place, attached to this length of twine.
When I get back up on the boat, climbing very horribly. I rolled a 3 on the die. Eventually I get up. I will the amulet will float over to Dai and say, I do not know what this may be, but it feels like it is precious. It was on their person.
And I'm gonna go check with Amara, Namayan, and Dahan.
You also have I definitely gave you the Sunpia.
Him.
Sungil, sorry.
Sungil, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the three of them look pretty shaken up. This was intense for them. The exception being the Mayan, who
of course
seems to be in a pretty chipper mood right now.
Of course. I'm gonna tell them that they did really well under the circumstances. Amaral gets a pat on the shoulder for defending the supplies. Dahan gets a pat on the shoulder for, keeping the mask in order. What? Keeping the mast in order. And what was Namayan doing?
Namaya was actually helping Amara with Lantaka.
Okay, cool. So yeah, then they get they get the pats on the shoulders for helping to recover some of the supplies. And they'll get a bonus gold.
Namayan is looking at you very serious and goes, "Going after them, right?"
I think in this case, it's better to not do that. Look, the damage to the mast is pretty severe.
Well, they're in the water. We're not gonna sail a boat into the water, right? We can get them still, right?
Not this time, Namayan.
All right. And as she climbs up top to help Dahan with repairing the mast.
I'm worried about that girl.
I'll assist them with repairing the mast by casting mending.
Okay. The repairs, they mostly are just trying to put it back into place and reinforcing it. It's a patchwork job until they can get a proper fix.
I will assist by casting mending and or guidance as appropriate. That's all.
Sure. As we learned last season, you can't use mending to repair a mast.
I wanna, okay?
I use a carpentry background though. Can I help with that?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And guidance would still help.
Yeah.
Those are pretty routine repairs. There's no upper echelon of how well you can do this. It's just a matter of just doing it. So you're able to help out pretty succinctly. Repairing the roof is going to just take maybe a few hours, as well as the struts. It's just the mast is going to require some decent repairs once they're docked. But as well on the person, there is that amulet. Do you want to try and identify that die?
Yes, I think sure.
Okay. You check out this amulet, and with identify, you learn this is an amulet of aqueous affinity. It is a spell found in the book. You touch a willing creature to grant it the ability to take action underwater with ease. For the duration of the spell, the target gains a swimming speed equal to their movement speed, and making weapon attacks underwater no longer imposes disadvantage on the attack roll. While submerged in water, the target has advantage on all dexterity saving throws. You get to cast that, according to the item, once per day.
Oh, okay, cool.
I feel like anybody could use that.
Yes.
Yeah, I just.
It requires
hang on to it for
attunement.
now. Just hang on to it for now, I guess. I don't know. We can talk about it over dinner.
I believe we should get this all fixed up, though.
Okay.
I cannot tell, but I am sure it does not look as good as it should. Actually, I have a splinter now. Ow. You should see my big teeth trying to bite the splinter out.
Can I grab your hand and pull the splinter out?
Sure.
I do that.
Oh.
You did really well.
Sorry, y'all.
I'll walk over as this is happening, be like, "Do you want to talk to the mask again?"
No, I would not like to speak to the mask. I would like to fix this and then perhaps eat food. Or
Oh, sure.
It's as fixed as it's getting right now.
You know what? I'll start cooking while you finish fixing.
Okay. Pilar is primarily going to supervise, but she's going to go over to Gaita and Are you okay?
That was great.
That was awesome.
Thank you. I felt pretty cool.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think you would have an opportunity to wrestle a shark so soon.
I was getting ready to change my goal to riding a shark for a moment there, but pesky kids.
Well, maybe there are more of them with other tiburones to wrestle and or ride.
I'm also pretty sure I could find that one again, being that I left an enormous spear in its head.
Fair.
With
You are really cool.
Oh.
That's all.
Thank you.
with repairs underway and the first day coming to a close, what do y'all do for the rest of the week? You've got about 6 more days until you reach Toluna.
Was this really first day?
This is the
Yeah,
first
that
day.
was first day.
The first full day.
First day on sea.
Yes.
Technically
yes,
the second day on the boat, but first day on sea.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
I was like, what?
6 sessions, 1 day.
Oh, I mean, so we now have the time. With time for sure, Manala would want to speak with the entity, but he wouldn't do it with the eye. He would just sit somewhere, perhaps while they're eating or something, or perhaps at night when everybody's asleep. He would have kind of gone to like a section of the boat that no one's at, and not knowing what the hell to even do. It's just, I don't know how this works, but apparently you are there, and I don't know who you are, but apparently you know me, and we are connected, but you don't want to speak to me, but I am the only one who can speak to you. So this is confusing, but I would like to know more information if you are willing to give that information. And he's just kind of rambling. He doesn't expect an answer. If he does get the answer, great. But he's just trying to figure it out.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Pretty much.
If you're even there.
I'm going to send 5 sharks going for only Pilar. Manalo, you
God
talk-
help the Tampo cast. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, yes, truly. I am not I give you guys max hit points for a reason. You talk, Manalo, at length to whatever this thing in your mask is. And the only sounds you get back just to you. You just hear the ocean. You just hear the waves, the creaking of the boat, and your fellow travelers. But nothing from the mask.
Is that all for you, Manala? I don't want to interrupt.
That's it.
Okay. At some point over the next 6 days, Pilar will swap her crease for the Sangil.
Okay.
And she'll find Manalo at some point in the 6 days and say, you only use daggers, right?
It is what I am used to. Yes, it feels right in my hands.
Do you have an interest in trying something else?
If I am honest with you, I am not as interested. To be fair, and you see my clawed hands just kind of open up a little bit, and the void of black is starting to pull together.
Mm-hmm.
And this is much more easy for me to understand, specifically more easier for me to calculate, so I know where it's going to go when I let it go. I am not well versed with other instruments of that nature. And that blast just kind of shoots up in the air.
Ooh.
And almost like very straight line. Less sparkly, more inky. I went inky. Yeah, he just other things don't necessarily feel right for me. But thank you for asking.
Yeah, no problem. And you sense she's got you sense like she's walking up to you and she's holding something. Like you feel the air you sense the air displacing around her, that she has something in her hand. That she's like kind of holding up, and then when you say never mind, she like kind of like drops it. Like she doesn't like drop it, but she like puts it down at her side, and she's like, okay. And she like walks off.
Have you ever considered, and that blast will form again?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can do this. Are you able to? I am not equipped with the arcane arts, but this is pretty nice. Though I would assume you need to be corrupted to do this, and I would not want you to be corrupted.
I don't think you're corrupted. I mean, I can't do that. My magic is natural. I call upon nature to do things for me, and she'll the boat's pretty big. She'll kind of like her free hand, she'll like kind of like raise it up, and you sense a displacement in the deck of the boat as these vines and stuff start to creep up and surround and fill a 20-foot square. She casts Entangle, an empty square. And yeah, what up?
You just watched Manalo cast Eldritch Blast going upwards.
Yeah.
And you've been taking notes of like different magics of your party members going on. You feel like there's something else more you can do with your magic if you just give it a little extra push.
Like, do I feel this when
like there's something that you could do that you've just not been doing?
So Entangle being a spell that I know innately, does it feel like I cast
separate from Entangle?
Okay, but it feels like there's some part of the magic that I'm reaching into that I could push a little further and figure out what the heck that is.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So what this looks like, I'm gonna say, is that you anybody who is watching sees her like bring her hand up and the vines and everything come up out of the deck as if raised by her hand. And that's what Manalo senses, like this displacement in the deck. But like, what does it feel like to her specifically? Like, she's just gonna reach for that.
Gonna reach for that?
Mm-hmm.
You reach out towards this thing. It's like finding out that you're a little more flexible with your fingers, finding out that you could maybe wiggle your ears. It's something you can do, but just don't really do,
Mm-hmm.
or haven't thought about in a while.
Mm-hmm.
You push out, and Manalo, you sense this as well. As Pilar, you create in the air for you to grab a Sumpit dart made from thorns and vine.
And I'll just say, something just appeared. Did you do that?
And I catch the dart and I look at it and I'm like, I guess I did.
Is this something you can always do?
I've never done that before.
What does that mean?
I reach for that again.
You pull out another one.
Does the first one go away?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it means that if I ever run out of ammunition, no, I didn't.
I don't know what that may mean. Again, I am not the magic user per se.
Well, it means that, so I made a dart for my Sumpit. Like, I just pulled it. I just pulled it out of the air.
How do you pull something out of the air?
I do not. I mean, I just thought about it. Like when I cast Entangle, and then like you sense also the vines kind of like dissipating as the spell releases. Like as I reached for that magic, I felt that there was something else. Like if I just reached a little bit farther.
I sense you are close to nature. You are close to the spirits.
Somewhat.
At least those who represent the trees and the earth and things of that nature. I've felt that. This felt like you pulled from nothingness and created something.
She does it. She's like at this point, she's like just doing it on repeat. Like she like tosses up the magic. No, she's like she tosses the magic and a Sumpit dart lands in her hand. She tosses it up again and like another Sumpit dart lands in her hand. Like it's almost like a tick at this point. I mean, does it feel like I'm pulling from nothing, Paladin, or does it feel the same way that my natural magic does?
It just feels like part of you.
Okay. Well, it just feels like something that I could have been doing if I reached a little harder or a little farther.
Or if you knew, and I guess you might not have known until the moment was clear.
Exactly.
Well, I believe everyone has questions, and the library will be able to answer those at least, potentially.
Yeah.
Gaita and I, what do you do for the rest of the week?
Probably spend a little bit of time trying to familiarize myself with the crew, kind of get like an inside joke with everyone. You know, that's kind of Dai's goal here is to be like the well-liked, but like maybe like just a little bit like weird, like uncle or something. But I actually imagine that probably one like afternoon, like a really like slow afternoon or something, Dai would probably find Gaita just to briefly talk. And he'd just like walk up and like be like really awkwardly silent for like 10 seconds before just kind of going like, I kind of always assumed that when Raya ran away to be with Poitog, that was your doing. I don't think that's the case anymore. And I would like to apologize. Muted.
Am I?
Oh, there you.
Nope,
Maybe
there
you
it's too silent. Okay, it's good.
You mean them getting eloped?
Yeah. Like I just assumed that was your influence.
No. I thought that was you and your wife.
Are you kidding me? My wife would not stand for that.
I had a very traditional wedding, with the parents getting together and the blessings being exchanged and whatnot. I wanted Poitog to give me that opportunity as well, and he didn't.
I don't know. I don't know about that. But I realized that maybe I had let some past things cloud what I thought about you, and I wanted to. I don't think that was fair of me.
I suppose we've both been a bit unfair to each other.
I mean, I was really drunk that one time.
Well, that was your own undoing. But everything else, maybe.
I don't cope with grief well.
That is understandable. I must admit, I don't know how I would have handled what you went through. And I think, especially now, I feel as though with Danto being gone, I suppose I resented you a bit because you were a reflection of me. And your grief, the way that you continue living, it's impossible to me. And it's not fair to you, but I can't imagine my life like that.
It seemed impossible to me too. When I spoke with Kamatayan, I was offered a chance to see Mara again, and to speak with her, and she basically scolded me for not moving on, for being stuck in the past. I guess I just blame myself. But
I could understand that. But it's different being so. We both are so old. I lived my entire lifetime just going wherever Danto wanted to go and taking care of the kids and trying to be of service to others. Imagining losing him the way that you did, I wouldn't know who I was. I suppose I took that out on you when that's my fault.
we all deal with grief in different ways, I think. Apparently, you and I deal with it in similar ways. Well, obviously, we're traveling, and if we're able to help you find your husband, we will. But I guess if you want to talk about what it's like to go from being happily married to having no idea what it is you're supposed to be doing in your life, and retiring on a whim because you feel like maybe I don't belong here anymore, and really not feeling like you fit in anywhere. I guess we could talk about that or something.
Perhaps. In any case, I am also sorry for whatever aggression might have been between us, right? It's really not your fault.
Well, I certainly didn't help it.
We both didn't. It, I was so angry because Tonto would just leave all the time while Poitog was young, and Poitog took up that mantle, the man of the house, and I clung to him for so long because he was my baby, and I guess when he eloped and I wasn't able to be there, it was like the final, you're not a mother anymore. And now they're having this baby, and perhaps I will get a second chance. And I have to find both of them. I have to find my daughter, and I have to find my husband. And then on the way, I have to find out who I am. I don't know without them. So not fitting in, or not belonging anywhere. Perhaps I'm doing it all over again, of just wanting to help Pilar and Manalo and being a mother again, I guess. That's all I'm good for.
Well, you raised some very fine children, so if your track record is indicative of anything, I think you can do it.
It is funny. It seems as though our children have taken over the opposite. Poitog tells me that your daughter is strong physically.
Of course she's strong. She's my wife's daughter.
My dog also thinks this is very emotional. Come here, Dan. I think them becoming good parents. I hope that will be some sort of proof, I suppose, that if they can raise their child, then they must have learned it from somewhere. So, if I can at least find their father and find Poitog's sister and find whatever else it is that I'm looking for, then I can at least make that right.
I think you have the ability to make a lot of things right. Back, well, for a number of years, as you know, I used to kind of work on the beach in Hennepin. Have you ever watched an eagle when crows attack it?
I don't think so, no.
It's fascinating to watch. It doesn't happen very often, but every now and then a group of crows will attack an eagle. And when they do you know what the eagle does? Is it flies straight up. The crows are much smaller. They can fly faster and turn faster, but the eagle just flies higher and higher. And because the crows can't go as high into the air, eventually the eagle soars over the trouble that it's facing. I think perhaps, like the eagle, if you just keep flying, maybe not literally attached to sharks or anything, but if you keep flying, you'll find an opportunity where you can get past what's challenging you, and it won't bother you anymore.
I like that. I don't know how comparable to an eagle I am, but...
You did fly today.
Well, flew is a glamorization of it, I think.
What are all stories but prime material for a little bit of exaggeration?
True. It will be nice to go home and finally be able to tell the children I'm doing something exciting for once. And,
very true.
I don't know exactly what to offer people when they lose someone close. I feel like an I'm sorry or any sort of thing that you could say is just doesn't really bring them back. But I think that fixing this, at least the two of us, I think she would be proud of you.
Thank you. I hope she would be.
I think so.
As you sail out for the remainder of the week, it's mostly uneventful. You have to rely on a bit more more fishing than usual, and you have to ration out your water more intelligently. But eventually you do see the high mountain that marks Tulunan, where smoke often comes from the top of its always active, presence. But as you approach Tulunan, you see that the sky is just a bit darker here. It's just a bit more distant from the sun. And as you arrive in Iraga, on the far side, away from the rest of the islands, we'll cut here. Thank you all for watching us tonight.
Oh boy.
My name is Paladin. I've been your DM of the evening. Let's go around and do some reintroductions. Let's start with CB. CB, who are you?
Hi, my name is Omega Jones, also known as Critical Bard across all social media channels. You can find me everywhere doing lots of messy stuff. I'm Hot Mess Incarnate. Specifically tomorrow, you can catch me over on Effin Funny, that is EFFIN Funny, for a big Juneteenth fundraiser, a 12-hour Juneteenth fundraiser, because tomorrow is Juneteenth, which is not Black People 4th of July. It is a federal holiday now, that celebrates the end, technically, of slavery, at least for a lot of different reasons. It's very important to Black Americans, and it's something I hold near and dear to my heart. So at 6 Pacific, I'll be playing some D&D, some level 20 D&D with Christina Ariel, Gabe James Games, Abria Iyengar, hashtag some of Abria, myself, obviously, and Dian by Connie Chang from Transplanter RPG. On Sunday, you can find me on look at my socials for all the complete information. I'm going to blanket on it right now. But I'm part of Virtuous Con, which is another Black convention with a lot of cool, amazing people. I'll be on a panel with some creators in the community about streaming and gaming as a Black creative. So watch out for that. That's all the important nitty gritty stuff, I think. Other than that, full-time Twitch streamer. This is what I do. Check out my channel while I'm currently playing Super Mario Sunshine. It's been great. I will pass it over to Lucia.
Hey, it's your girl, Latia Jaquise. You can find me on the internet everywhere at Latia Jaquise, except the places where I cannot be found, like a great mystery. On Sundays, you can catch me at twitch.tv/Rivals of Waterdeep playing Rivals of Waterdeep as we do the trek to 100 episodes. It's our 10th season. Stuff is weird. It's cool and stuff. It's great. 10 a.m. Pacific, noon Central every Sunday until we go to break. And then on Tuesdays, you can catch me at noon Central on my own Twitch channel, where I will be playing Torment Tides of Numenera, which is a video game based in the world of Numenera, which is created by my place that I work for, Mighty Good Games. That's going to be a fun time. I've never played it before. It's Pillars of Eternity style, I think, like that kind of game. It's narrative driven RPG. It's super fun from what I've seen. So we're gonna jump into that and be fun. Wednesdays and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to midnight, 8 p.m. to midnight, not 8 a.m. I do not stream all day. Jesus. 8 p.m. to midnight. And then usually on Fridays, I'll do a wind down, but I'm not doing a wind down tonight because I'm properly tired. And then anything else I do, you can just Twitter. Take it away, Josh.
Hello, my name is Josh. You can find me on all social media platforms at Joshua M. Simons. That is my name. Normally, I'm active on Twitter and Instagram, but I've actually been on TikTok recently, strangely enough. Post-move, I've had spoons to open the app again, which is nice. Anyways, I'm a freelance tabletop game designer. I'm a variety streamer on my own channel. I typically stream Wednesdays and Sundays. And coming back this next week, Lucia and I will be doing our art, mini painting, terrain building, streams, plural, picking up on Mondays. So come and join us on Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific time for crafty stuff. Admittedly, something I don't know very well. On top of all that, I'm the Assistant Director of Ambassadors at Jasper's Game Day, nonprofit organization that uses tabletop gaming for the cause of suicide prevention. And of course, you can always find me right here playing with my friends. I like them a lot. Pretty sure that Lucy is next.
Hi, I've been Lucia, and the wailing in the background has been my dog, Nini. You can find me and pictures of her on my Twitter. Normally, that's where I'm most active, at Searsword. I run a TTRPG, kind of TTRPG witchy stuff based shop at searsword.com. You can buy candles, pins, dice. I make dice. I make a lot of dice. And otherwise, I'm here playing Tampo, and I'll be on the art stream with Josh. So again, Twitter's the best place to keep up with me. And that's what I do. And I'll pass it off to Pathin.
Hi, I'm Paladin, otherwise known as HD Paladin. I'm a TTRPG content creator. I've got a Kickstarter coming out later this month for a bunch of books and spells. I'm talking about on Twitter. You can find me at HD Paladin. You can also find me on Instagram under HD Paladin, but I don't do anything there, so please don't follow me there. You can find me
Follow
here.
him there, do it.
Don't. You can find me posting about different things in media, a lot of RPG stuff, and just me shit posting. A lot of shit posting. Too much shit posting. Anywho, thank you all for watching us tonight, and we'll be here next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all. We're gonna raid somebody. Stick around.
Yeah.